Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Today I will talk about an article that has as the main protagonist the United States of America's Vice President Kamala Harris, and not necessarily talking about how she's doing, but what she said. And I think that what she said was stupid and racist in the same time. So this article comes from Sputnik. It's not only in Sputnik, but that's how I found it first, and I didn't bother to look and save it from others, but you can find it in many other news outlets. And it's from today, the 1st of October 2022. This is the title: Kamala Harris whips up cyclone of criticism pushing quote-unquote equity while discussing Hurricane Ian relief. So equity, she talks about equity during the cyclone. Okay, let's see. I'm going to talk about what equity means, but she's going to explain for us what it is, and that's very, very revealing. So, as you know, it's a cyclone going around Florida, and it caused a lot of damage. Vice President, it says here, let's go with the beginning though. The deadly post-tropical Atlantic cyclone caused widespread damage across western Cuba and the southeast U.S. coast, becoming one of the top 5 most powerful hurricanes ever recorded by U.S. meteorologists. 2 Cubans and at least 23 Floridians were killed in the storms, with Enki Research saying it caused upwards of $65 billion in damage. It's half of how much the United States gives Ukraine, just like that. So, right? Gonna just give the United States gonna give $65 billion to Florida, to its citizens, because it gave it to Ukraine. Keep dreaming. Okay. Vice President Kamala Harris has taken flack from Florida officials and commentators after inserting woke politics-based talking points into a discussion about Hurricane Ian relief. Now, it shouldn't be only from Florida officials and commentators. It should be from each and every person who thinks and has a little gram or ounce of justice in himself or herself. And I'm quoting Miss Kamala Harris. It is our lowest income communities and our communities of color. Who's ours? Who's us? Who's we? Our communities of color that are most impacted by these extreme conditions and impacted by issues that are not of their own making. Harris said, speaking at the Democratic National Committee Women's Leadership Forum in Washington, D.C. on Friday. Women Forum host Priyanka Chopra interjected, "Absolutely," Harris said. Okay, and I'm quoting again. And so we have to address this in a way that is about giving resources based on equity. Understanding that we fight for for equality, but we also need to fight for equity. Well, these things are very strange, depends how you put them in a sentence, and she's going to explain further. Understanding that not everyone starts out at the same place. That's true. My children start very low, okay? And Kamala Harris' children, if she has any, and I don't think she has, start very high. Or could start. Let's say with Biden. Biden started very high. And if we want people to be in an equal place, sometimes we have to take into account those disparities and do that work. If we want, who's we, people to be in an equal place, sometimes we have to take into account those disparities and do that work. What does that mean? So, Florida's Emergency Response Director, Christina Pushaw, who also serves as an aide to Governor Ron DeSantis, slammed Harris over her comments, calling them false and accusing the vice president of fomenting undue panic and discrimination. And she is, so I'm quoting, Federal Emergency Management Agency individual assistance is already available to all Floridians impacted by Hurricane Ian, regardless of race or background, Pusha tweeted. And I'm quoting again, I would be panicking if my relatives were in Fort Myers right now and the vice president said that they wouldn't be prioritized for FEMA assistance because they're white. Fortunately, I know what is going on with the hurricane assistance and there is no racial discrimination, she added in a follow-up tweet. Pusha later urged Harris to correct what she said. Others piled onto Harris over the eyebrowing remarks, with Tesla and SpaceX chief Elon Musk suggesting aid should be distributed according to greatest needs, not race or anything else. Journalist Ian Mills Chong accused Harris of out-and-out racism. Just say it, I'm quoting, just say it. Let me see. Poor white people are screwed, and Kamala Harris is gloating about it the same way she gloated about sending thousands of black men to prison over drug-related misdemeanors, Chong tweeted, referring to Harris's hardline drug crime policy during her tenure as a prosecutor, district attorney, and state attorney general in California. Well, this is how these people see equity, okay? But they see it, they really don't believe in it. I tell you why. Because if this would be an equitable world as she claims she wants, that means that my children should be, or I, for instance, that put myself in, I would be vice president as she is. I started from a different place and I should have the same outcome as she did. Except kneeling in front of Judge Brown or whatever his name is and performing microphone singing, la da da da, okay? You know what I mean? The microphone is moving back and forth, or her head. So, I want the same she has. Based on her equity agenda, I should have as much money as Elon Musk has, or Jeff Bezos has. We started from different places, and we should have the same equal outcome. That's what she said over there. We should be in the same place. Well, you see, for this kind of people, the same place is up to them. They do not qualify to that. I bet she doesn't want to be where I am. I bet she doesn't want me to be where she's at. And if we are at the same level, all of us, who's going to work? Do you think that all, let's say, forklift operators, that's how they're called, want to be forklift operators? They were born with that urge. Don't they want to be, I don't know, maybe engineers or vice president? Why aren't they there? I think it's a very, very unequitable system. It's a systemically racist and unequitable system here. Because we all should be, what exactly? What exactly? Whatever I want, I should be? Regardless of the effort I put in it? Yes. It's not about equality of outcome, my baby doll. It's about the equality of access to opportunities, baby doll. So I should not be prevented from accessing a job, okay? Or trying to access it based on my abilities. That's all I got, abilities. And I have to develop those abilities, mental and physical, in order to get that job. If I'm not prepared, it doesn't matter if I'm green, purple, fat, thin, or if I come from a weak background or a strong background, or if I come from a poor household or a rich household. It shouldn't. These things exist nevertheless. You know why, Kamala? Because we are not robots, we are humans. So we will have discrimination, We will have racism, we will have hatred, we will have all these things. You will not be able to eradicate them. You can make laws that are for all of us the same. That's true. But the effort we put in it and the interaction with the society and people, you can't change that. Each person, like you say police, systemic racism in the police. Why? Because you found let's say 5 racists. Out of how many? Those are individuals who feel that way. Now, the fact that they feel that way is probably the system's fault because they didn't equalize it with everybody else feeling the way you want them to feel. Because you already determine what is good and what is bad. But that's not our society. I agree with that. We make laws, we have values, but certain values are pushed. I'm not going to get into that now. But this is the equity agenda. So what does she want? She wants to go and give help only to certain kind of people based on certain kind of income or, race or mental ability or what? And then you prevent others from doing anything else? Those could wait. We saw certain things like this in COVID, if you remember, with the vaccines. They're on camera. Who had access first in certain communities? There's over there. It's not me just saying, I just woke up and I'm saying it. So, she is the Vice President of the United States of America or the Vice President of the poor people or the Vice President to certain kind of groups. And by the way, she just keeps the first black president. She's not the first vice president. She's not the first black vice president. She's the first biracial vice president. That's true. But she ignores one side and she picks the other one. It doesn't work that way, baby doll. It doesn't work that way. In your Alice in Wonderland, it works that way. Like Obama, the first black president. No, the first biracial president. He was half, 50-50. Oh, he picked to be that. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And I can say, I feel like, a duck right now. I'll be a duck and I want you to call me a duck and see me as a duck. Or maybe you see me, I want to be God. I want you to see me as such. What's wrong with that now? I want to be called the president. I'm the president. And I'm going to fire you, Kamala Harris. Oh, why not? Why am I not the president? See how much inequity? Why aren't you the president and you're just the vice president? Is it because inequity? See how crazy this is? And I can go on and on with this. She is not only dumb, it seems like, she is also stupid. And the stupid is dumb, but evil as well, it seems like. So, it seems like being a little bit, I don't know. I think she just hate a few things here and there, based on her inability to think, or being dumb or stupid. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.